Metamorphosis in frogs. It is a small topic in chapter 9, reproduction in animals. Let us take a few seconds to watch the image given on the slide. This image shows us the changes that occur to a frog's body through time. हम कुछ वक्त देते हैं देखने के लिए इस पिक्चर को. ये पिक्चर हमें दिखाता है कि फ्रॉग की बॉडी में वक्त के साथ साथ उसके लाइफ साइकिल में कैसे बदलाव आते हैं. In amphibians, metamorphosis is initiated by hormones. Amphibians में metamorphosis की शुरुआत hormones करते हैं. These hormones are secreted by thyroid gland of a tadpole, and these changes prepare an aquatic organism for a terrestrial existence. एक tadpole aquatic organism है, लेकिन frog land में रहता है. दोनों की body structure में काफी अंतर है, काफी difference है. So a tadpole undergoes metamorphosis, and this metamorphosis helps the tadpole to develop into an adult frog which can live on land. So in frogs and toads, the metamorphic changes are more striking, and almost every organ is subject to modification. The changes in form are very obvious. For locomotion, the hind limbs and forelimbs differentiate. As the paddle tail recedes, the cartilaginous skull of the tadpole is replaced by the predominantly bony skull of the young frog. The horny teeth the tadpole uses to tear up pond plants disappear as the mouth and jaw take a new shape, and the fly-catching tongue muscle of the frog develops. Meanwhile, the large intestine, characteristic of herbivores, shortens to suit the more carnivorous diet of the adult frog, and the gills regress and the lungs enlarge. Now, what happens during metamorphosis? We saw that in text. हमने लिखे हुए words को पढ़ा कि metamorphosis में क्या होता है या metamorphosis के दौरान क्या होता है. The life cycle of frog includes that the female lays eggs in water, and these eggs are fertilized in water through external fertilization. Now gradually the fertilized egg develops into an embryo and it hatches into larva. As you can see in the picture, the larva now has external gills to carry out respiration. Okay. Then the larva also develops a paddle tail so that it can move inside the water. Right? Now the tadpole undergoes change. The thyroid gland of tadpole releases thyroxine hormone, and this thyroxine hormone brings about various changes in its body and transforms the tadpole into an adult frog. But what are the changes? The changes are the paddle tail decreases or recedes, cartilaginous skull of the tadpole changes to a bony skull of adults, the fly-catching tongue muscle of the frogs develop. Now the tadpoles which were eating the aquatic plants now have to eat flies and insects while on land. So gradually their diet changes from herbivorous to carnivorous, and due to this there is a change in the small intestine structure, and the gills present in tadpoles start to decrease, start to stop functioning, and their lungs increase. These are some of the striking changes which occur in the body of frogs during metamorphosis. And because a part of the life cycle of frog is spent in water, and the other part, the adult life, is spent on land, so both water and land are necessary for frogs' development. Now, what are the specific hormones which are responsible for the metamorphosis? वो कौन से खास hormones हैं जो frogs के metamorphosis में help करते हैं? These hormones are thyroid releasing hormone or TRH, corticotropin releasing factor or CRF, thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, thyroxine T4, triiodothyronin T3. ये हॉर्मोन्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं फ्रॉग्स में मेटामॉर्फोसिस करने के लिए. The hormones: thyroid releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing factor, thyroid stimulating hormone, thyroxine, and triiodothyronin altogether are responsible for regulating amphibian metamorphosis. So today we learnt about metamorphosis in frogs, and it is controlled by hormones. We have just heard about these hormones, and you have to remember the name of all these 5 hormones. And the mineral responsible for metamorphosis is iodine. So you have a very small homework, but it will test your competence. It will test the knowledge that you have gained. And the question is, what will happen to frog population if ponds are filled with soil, aquatic plants are removed from ponds, and iodine is not present in water? So you have to think about it and write the answer. We will have the discussion on these questions in the next session.